This video is a follow-on from my last video where I took a roll of JCH StreetPan 400 and I overexposed it by one stop. So effectively I was shooting the film at ISO 200, not 400. This time I'm going to shoot the same film and I'm going to overexpose it by two stops. But there'll also be some one-stop overexposure photos and also some box speed photos, basically shooting it as if it's ISO 400. Now I use my M6 TTL and I use the Zeiss 35mm f2.8 lens. Again, this is part of the review process. When I go out and test the equipment, I like to test it for a few weeks before I give you guys a review. So there will be a review on this lens coming sometime in the next week with the 35mm f2.8 from Zeiss, tested on the M6, obviously, because I'm using it today, and also on my M10P. So you'll have film and digital files to have a look at. Now, the M6 light meter is good. It can get it wrong sometimes, but most of the time it does work really well. But what I've decided to do for this test is use my Sony 308B handheld light meter. So all of the metering was done with a handheld light meter, not in the camera. And what I basically did, I set my f-stop up to either 5.6 or f8, and my shutter was 500. That's for box speed. So what I did to overexpose is turn the dial one click, which will take me down to 250, which is one stop overexposed, and another click will take me down to 125th, which is two stops overexposed. So that's the nice thing about the M6 TTL, is each turn of the dial or each click of the dial is one stop. So I can go from 500 to 250, which is one stop overexposed, and from 250 to 125 for two stops overexposed. Now, the photos you're going to see in the slideshow were all developed in the same chemical. It was one roll, and I just developed it as if I was developing 400 speed black and white film. Now you'll see one that was shot at box speed, you'll see one that was one stop overexposed, and the other one will be two stops overexposed. So that way you can get an idea of what the film looks like on the same scene at box speed, one stop overexposed and two stops overexposed. So as you can see from the photos, you don't always have to shoot black and white film at box speed. I think a lot of people don't shoot StreetPan 400 because it's very dark and contrasty at 400 speed. But if you're overexposed by one stop or effectively shoot it at ISO 200, it's actually quite a nice film. And then if you go a step further and overexpose by two stops or shoot it as an ISO 100 film, it still has a nice look to it. It's a little bit washed out for me, two stops overexposed. I think I prefer it at ISO 200 or one stop overexposed. I think it has a really nice look to it. It's not as moody and as contrasty at 400. I think you have to have a really bright sunny day and some really nice shadows to get the best from this film shooting at box speed. But if you shoot at ISO 200, it's a nice middle ground. Now, do any of you guys shoot your film overexposed? Black and white film? Can you recommend any more films you want me to test? Because like I said, this is part of my review process. When I test a lens or a camera, especially a lens for my M cameras, I will go out for a few weeks and shoot different films and shoot with my digital cameras as well, my M10P. But like I said, it was just a bit of fun shooting this and just to see what I can get from it. But if you want me to shoot some more films and overexpose them, let me know down in the comment section. And also let me know if you overexpose any of your films. Is there any particular film that you overexpose and you prefer it being overexposed than shooting at box speed? Now, the review on this lens will be coming in a few days, like I said earlier. This is the 35mm f2.8 from Zeiss. I got it in the silver version because it matches my M6 and it will spend most of its life on my M6, to be truthful. So far, I'm really enjoying shooting this lens. There's a couple of things I don't like, which I will mention in the review, but most of it is positive. It's a really, really nice, compact, sharp lens. And again, it's Zeiss glass. You can't really go wrong with that. The review video on this lens will have a link to a Dropbox folder, and in that Dropbox folder will be the film photos you've seen in this video and the previous video, and also the digital photos from the M10P. So you can download them for yourself and check out those photos on your own screen, because YouTube does compress these videos and you don't get the full effect of the lens. You can't see the sharpness and the characteristics of the lens in these videos sometimes. I'll always do that with my review videos on lenses, so you guys can have the files to check out for yourself. That's it for this video really, just a bit of fun going out testing this lens again, so I can give you a full review in a few days and give you my genuine thoughts of this lens, and also seeing how far I can push JCH StreetPan 400 film. Not too bad actually, overexposing by 2 stops. It does keep a lot of the detail there. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.